So Mark, we are going to go into our hot seat questions, man. Thank you for all of the information that you provided us thus far. So rolling into our hot seat questions, let's try and answer these questions as quick as possible. So starting over, what would you do differently?
Well, I did start at a young age, but let's assume I didn't. If I was starting over, I would start it as young as possible. And if you're listening to this and you're in your 40s or 50s, don't think that it's too late. Absolutely not. In fact, most of our clients are in their 50s and 40s. But start as early as you can, because you want time on your side, and earn and save as much as you can, as fast as you can, for the sole purpose of going broke. And what I mean by that is you want to deploy those savings into income producing rental real estate as quickly as you can and as often as you can. And if you follow that formula, you're going to look back after 3, 5, 7, 10 years, and you're going to be amazed at what you've built.
Okay. All right. And what do you think is your greatest commodity outside of capital?
Greatest commodity outside of capital was your knowledge. That is my number one rule of my rules for successful real estate investing is educate yourself. Invest in yourself, build your knowledge capital, because if the more knowledge capital you have, the more and quicker the other types of capital will come to you, including financial capital. You have to build your personal capital first.
Absolutely. Knowledge, like you said, knowledge is power, and it's key. What is one thing you can do to be more productive?
This is something I always work on, and more so lately, is to be greedy with your time. Schedule your time wisely. Learn to say no more often to things that really don't matter, that don't contribute. You have to just stay focused on the things that actually matter. And if you're greedy with your time, you will be more successful.
Gotcha. What drives your ambition?
Well, my family.
Okay.
my family, my freedom and lifestyle. I want to maintain freedom and lifestyle, but also my mission, which is to help 1 million people create passive income and create wealth and passive income through real estate and put them on the path to financial freedom.
Okay. And what do you believe is your greatest challenge, internal or external, to that mission of passive income with 1 million people?
That's a very good question. I don't know what my greatest challenge is, because I look at every challenge as an opportunity. If I see a challenge, I'm quickly thinking about how to overcome it. But if I had to pick something, I would say just time. Time keeps ticking away. You can never get it back. So my greatest challenge is lost time. If you lose time, you can't get it back.
Gotcha.
So you either let it go, or you try and make up for it.
True, and it's really hard. It slips through your fingers so quickly. That's why you have to be very time conscientious. So Marco, speaking of everything that we talked about, what are some great books that you would recommend our listeners to read? Well,
there's always hundreds of great books. The one that I'm in the middle of and almost finished, and actually I'm going to be interviewing the author next week for our podcast, is a new book that came out called Indistractable. It's a made-up word. I think he's trademarked it. But we were just talking about time management, and being able to say no more often to the things that don't matter. This is exactly what he talks about in the book called Indistractables, how not to be distracted in a world full of distractions constantly, everywhere, on your phone, social media, everything else. It's a really good book. This is also the same author, the New York Times bestselling author, that wrote the book Hooked, which is now pretty much in every corporate boardroom. Yeah. So his name is Nir. His first name is N-I-R, Nir. But I highly recommend that book. It's both a personal development book and a business book at the same time.
Okay, and we'll have those books in the show notes here, guys, so you can pick those books up and read those books. Marco, what do you believe is one characteristic that sets successful investors up for life?
A characteristic?
Yes.
I think this one is pretty simple, although I can give you a laundry list of answers to this. At the end of the day, it's taking action. A lot of people, this is how I started the business 16 years ago.
Yeah.
Investors were willing to spend $25,000, $35,000, $45,000 on boot camps and whatnot. They're okay spending money to educate themselves and taking action and going down that road. But until you until the rubber meets the road and you actually pull the trigger and take action, you write that contract to purchase that first or next rental property, things are going to stay just the same for you. It's the action, it's the execution that makes all the difference.
And that's very true. And this year, that's my year, is the year of execution, because I speak to a lot of people and it's, well, I know how to do this, I know how to do that, I have all of the content. Well, you can have all the information in the world, but if you're not applying that information and taking action, it's useless. So that's one thing that's great that you did bring that up, because that's one of the things that people need to do. They just need to take action. So Marco, tell me a little bit about what Norada Real Estate have going on. What's next? How can we get in contact with you if we want to invest with you?
Well, we have two websites. One is our core website, and the other one is the sister website, which is the home of the podcast, but they both link to each other. The best place to get free information and learn more about what we're doing is noradarealestate.com, Norada, noradarealestate.com. The sister website is the name of our podcast, passiverealestateinvesting.com. Just a very appropriate